That's what it's going to take to build and grow your side business. A series of adjustments. If you're not willing to make those adjustments, then this future will be based on a default. That default is already pre-built. It's already programmed based on your past. Your past is your programming. If you want a better future outcome, you've got to start designing with intentionality, and you've got to be willing to make the series of adjustments going forward. Today, what I wanted to be able to do is I wanted to be able to share with everyone something that I am learning that I think for all of us who own a side business, those of you who are full-time entrepreneurship, I talked to a lot of you who jumped in this group, found some value, and been able to talk and collaborate with other people. So the other thing that I want to make sure that I do is I want to make sure that, like, I'm serving you at your, at the highest level that I can. And I want to say hello to Janelle. I think it's Jonelle. Hello, how are you doing? Thank you for tuning in and being a part of the group. But the thing that I want to be able to do is I want to show you something that on its surface seems really simple to understand, but really on the back end, it's a little bit difficult because it's something that you got to do with some intentionality. So with that being said, let's get started. And I'll get to my board here in a second. But here's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about when you've gone into a chiropractic visit. I want you to think about how many of you have ever gone to a chiropractic visit. And when you go to a chiropractor, there's multiple reasons why people go, right? There's all types of reasons why people go into a chiropractic visit for whatever their reasons are. And one of the things that I've been fascinated by is like some of the benefits of going to a chiropractor, right? There's blood pressure, spinal work, mood, taking care of things like scoliosis, making sure that you don't have any like pressure points anywhere, reducing inflammation. Like there's a lot of benefits to ensuring that for the most part, when you go to a chiropractor, they're making tweaks, right? They're making changes. They're able to see things and notice things that you probably can feel, but you just can't always pinpoint exactly where the situation is or what may be needed in order to make sure that you are taking care of that particular problem on your body. Well, I want to tell you something. In light of what it is that you do with your side business or your full-time entrepreneurship career or whatever it is that you're doing in your day job right now, because many of you are still working your day job, which is awesome. That's where I started, right? I had my day job and I was working my side business. But here's the thing I want you to understand. Just like going to the chiropractor and you get what is known as adjustments, right? So some people like to call them tweaks. In business terms, we'll say, oh, I'm making some tweaks to my business or this or that. What I want to help you guys understand is that when you are working your side business, whether it comes to things in your personal life that you got to deal with, things in building your business, things in the way you operate, in your day-to-day, it's all going to come down to your ability to make a series of adjustments daily, if not hourly sometimes, and understanding that those adjustments are leading to long-term results, right? So what is an adjustment? Well, we use Webster's definition. It's a small alteration or movement made to achieve a desired fit, appearance, or result. Okay? So the thing I want you to think about is anytime you make an adjustment to anything, you're making it so that it properly fits better, or you're making sure that it's going to achieve a desired result. Here's what I find fascinating. We will start our side business, or we will get in that new job, or you get in that new house, but you haven't made the adjustments necessary to live in that house. Because if you've been in an apartment for however long and then you finally get a house, living in an apartment is a lot different than living in a home. But you got to make the adjustment along the way to going from an apartment to a home, right? You have to make a series of adjustments for your entire life when you get married, going from single to being married, right? You have to make a series of adjustments when you start saying, hey, I'm just a W-2 employee, to now I'm employing people. You have to make a series of adjustments to how you see your money. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about what series of adjustments do you need to make in order that your life can improve and that your side business or full-time entrepreneurship can improve? So in order to be able to do this, here's what I want to do. You can ask questions down below, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something on the board here, and I want to show you how life will imitate your business, okay? And I want to show you that by looking at this. So this here is a timeline, okay? So we've got the past, the present, and the future. Now, at any point, for where you are right now, you're in the present, but there's a lot of studies that show most people's struggle is, I know I'm in the present. I've got this kind of desired end game here, but getting from there to here, I really don't know what to do. Or I'm struggling with making the future that I want. And so because I'm struggling with it, you know what? I'll just do nothing and hope for the best that my future will be well. All right. Now, there's something interesting of a quote that I saw that I really want to make sure that we understand. And the quote says, instead of designing a life, we get caught up in making a living. I'll state that again. So instead of designing a life, we get caught up in making a living. Now, some people will say, well, hey, as long as I'm making, a good living, I got a roof over my head and things are good, then I'm okay. And that's fine for those who feel like that. You're right? Whether you believe what you can achieve or you don't, both are right. It's all about what you believe. But I want to show you something, and I'm going to show you how this relates to business. So if currently today in my present, I'm trying to get over to a future state, there's two ways I'm gonna get to the future. Either I'm going to, and let's just put these words down, either I'm going to design that future, meaning I'm going to start having some intentionality about the things that I do, where I put my money, where I spend my time, how I educate myself, the people that I hang around, the books that I read, right? The people that I expose myself to, right? That's all in design. Or there's another D. I mentioned it earlier. There is an actual default future. So you could design your future, or you could follow the default programming. And the default is what you already have right now here in the present. Now, here's what I find really interesting. Okay. So, and you'll see how this will line up to adjustments here in a second. Most people, if they're really honest with themselves, most people are trying to design a brand new future, a very different reality than their current, and they've got all of these hopes and dreams, but they'll fall short, and I'm going to show you why. It's because most of us, a lot of times, if we're not careful, are dictating our future. I'm sorry, most futures are dictated not based on where we are right now, and not even those who try to design it intentionally. It will all have a lot to do. It will either be harder or easier based on how much we hold on to the past. See, I'm gonna tell you right now, how do I know the past is utterly important in your world today, in your personal life, and building and designing your side business and growing that side business? Because one thing I know is that we all have a past, but we all are living in the present. And this present is a direct result of all the stuff that has happened prior to getting here. Well, if that's the case, then how do I get my future to line up with this idea, this dream that I have? Well, I'm going to show you something. Again, either you can design it with some intentionality or you live by the default. And unfortunately, for many people, and this is the downfall in our businesses, and this is the downfall in our lives, and this is something we got to think about. The downfall is there's so many moments inside of our past where this is the programming that is telling us exactly what is possible for our future. And every single tick mark up until the present moment is actually, this entire piece right here is actually a result of a couple of things. Good experiences, bad experiences, the people we hang around, the friends, the relationships, the way we spend money, the way we think about money, the way we see ourselves, the events and things that have happened to shape who you actually are right now watching this video. But I found something really interesting. As I look at where I am presently, and if I realize that I'm really just a collection of all the things that have happened before, but I want to start to intentionally designing my future, there's one thing that I've got to do, and I got to be willing to do it like right now. I've got to be willing to accept that there just might be some default programming in my past that is actually crippling my ability to design my future to begin with. There might be some moments that I'm hanging on to that because they happened or because of the way they made me feel or because I keep dragging them day after day, decade after decade, minute after minute further into my future, which now is my present. It won't matter whatever I'm trying to do here. My design, the undercurrent of my design has a lot to do with my past. So you might be asking yourself, okay, Chris, how in the world does this have anything to do with my business and going back to that thing you said about adjustments? Well, I'm going to show you why going to your chiropractor, you're probably going to look at very differently the rest of your life. So check this out. If I've got my past and every single tick mark represents a moment, time, person, place, thing, event, money, situations, ups, downs, lefts, rights, figure eights, 2 steps forwards, 9 steps back, whatever happened in your life up until this moment. Here's one of the things that we can do to start designing our future with a different default. Would you like to be able to know exactly what you need to do to scale and grow faster your side business? Well, look no further. You should jump into right now the Side Business Challenge. That's right. The Side Business Challenge is where it's at. I'm actually helping you as a corporate professional build and scale your side business faster because that's the name of the game. I know you've been looking for a place to how do I take what I'm doing and actually make it work to be creating a real revenue generating business. Well, join thesidebusinesschallenge.com. You do not want to miss it because when you jump in, it's 5 days, 1 hour where I am helping you build a successful side business. I'm Chris Williams. I built my first successful side business to over 6 figures and I've helped countless people do the same. And now I've got a challenge just for you. You know you've been wanting to build it. You know you want to make it for real and you want to make it something legitimate that at least, what if all it did was pay all of your household bills? Could you imagine being able to go to work every day and all of your household bills are paid without leveraging your job money? Oh yeah, I can teach you that. And inside of the Side Business Challenge, I'm showing you how to level up inside of your career so that you show up in a big way. Yes, having that side business will teach you so much more than just money. Jump into thesidebusinesschallenge.com. I look forward to seeing you there. This is what we can start. This is what we got to do. We got to start having a series of, give me a second, y'all. We got to start having a series of adjustments. This is something I have literally found in my life to be one of the greatest opportunities that we all have. And by the way, you are in full control of the series of adjustments that you choose to put into your life. Everybody. I don't care if you're 5, 15, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75. We all have the ability in our present today to choose to make a series of adjustments. And that's what life is. no different than going to the chiropractor. And put it this way, most people don't even go to the chiropractor until what? I got a problem, right? If you started designing your life by default and changing your default, you might say, you know what? I'm going to go to the chiropractor and have a series of adjustments so that I don't have to wait until I have a sciatic nerve problem, or my hips are out of place, or my neck is causing me problems, or I've got this shoulder issue, or my circulation has gone bad. I'm just going to go ahead and make the series of adjustments now so I can enjoy this portion of life and I can start designing what happens here in the future, right? Anxiety, by the way, is not a real and present danger. Anxiety about the future is things that we've created up here, and guess where they come from? All it is back here. We create a lot of ideas, circumstances, make a bunch of assumptions and outcomes that haven't even happened yet based on this. Because too many of us are living by default instead of design. So, what's got to happen from today watching this video forward is you've got to be willing to make a series of adjustments. So, if I'm going to make a series of adjustments, it increases my chances dramatically that I will get the life I want. Well, what does that mean, Chris? Well, okay. If right now you are struggling in money issues personally, trust me, they're going to be compounded when your side business starts to grow. Because if you don't make the series of adjustments now about how you handle money, just because you start a business, nothing will change. The business will just highlight more of your inadequacies and your current beliefs and your current defaults about money. So if you're not good with money now and you don't handle it the right way, when your business starts to grow, like I just want you to think about this for a second. All of you have side businesses. All of you want it to grow. But if you're not good with money now and the right client and the right person shows up and all of a sudden, bang, your business explodes, guess what also explodes and highlights? Your default in the way you handle money, the way you handle people, the way you handle being under pressure, the way your processes and systems are probably weak, right? Like, or if they're great, there's nothing that your business growing that today by default won't get exposed. And it could be all good things. Like you could have literally great sound systems, good stuff, but guess what happens? After a moment of solving problems for this person and that person and building a business and it grows, guess what? You're just gonna have more problems. Here's the kicker. Are you willing to do what's necessary so that you make the series of adjustments so that you can handle the next problems that a growing business causes? Because you do know there's a thing called growth pains, right? It's not like just this fable. It's not like this thing of, and most people are saying, oh, I'd love to have your problems making $1 million a year. Okay. But what if you're not good with numbers? What if you don't know how to budget? What if you don't forecast? What if you don't know how to say no? You ever thought about that? So you could say you want somebody else's problems, but if you're not really that good and not good at making a series of adjustments, it won't matter. You won't keep it, right? And that's the name of the game. Building your side business is all about making a series of adjustments. Going from $5,000 extra a month to $10,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 a month. The only difference is the person at $5,000 a month extra in their side business versus the person that's making $100,000 a month in their side business or their full-time business is just they were willing to make a series of adjustments along the way. Hey, go right now and get your pre-order copy. That's right. I wrote a brand new book with my business coach, Myron Golden. I can't believe I'm actually saying that out loud, but here's the cool part. We wrote this book together because one of the things I figured out was some people struggle with how to take any product or service and turn it into stories, success, and sales. Well, I wrote a book called From Side Hustle to Side Business. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do in order to be able to do all three in rapid succession. So go to FromSideHustleToSideBusiness.com. Make sure you pre-order your advanced copy. But guess what? there's more. Here's what you get to do. I'm actually so excited about the release of this book. I'm going to make sure that I help you learn about the principles and share some things that didn't even make it in the book. Well, how could you do that? You can order your ticket when you purchase your copy of a 3-day webinar that I'm doing. That's right, 3 whole days where I'm going to be sharing with you stuff that didn't even make it into the book about how you can literally do this and build your business the right way possible. The only way you're going to be able to do that is you got to go to from sidehustle2sidebusiness.com, get your advanced copy, get inside the 3-day webinar, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Again, I want to cover this because I want to show you, like, this was mind blowing to me when I realized, Chris, a lot of what people and what we're trying to achieve, the reason we don't achieve it is because we're not willing to make the series of adjustments that are necessary for that end result, right? So let's just recap, and then I'm gonna give you 3 adjustments you need to make for your side business right now. So, as I mentioned, we have our timeline, okay? Past, present, and future, right? We're here, but if I want to get to my future, there's 2 things right now that I can do to get there. Either I can design that future, which means I'm going to do some intentional things, or I'm going to literally get there by default. And my default is the things that are in my past. Okay. And each tick marks represents my past, right? And all the things that I've experienced, up, down, left, right, all of the stuff that has led me to my present. Well, the unfortunate part is many people will never get to they'll never even believe a designed future if their entire past was built by default. You have to learn what designing your life looks like, what designing your business looks like, what it means to make a series of adjustments to improve your odds to have the type of future outcome that you want. Okay? And I'm telling you right now, I want everybody go back and watch this video like 3 or 4 times, because I really want you to get it that there's nothing that you cannot achieve, but it won't be achieved if you're not willing to make the series of adjustments necessary in order for you to achieve those things. So, all right, we've got our past, right? And our present basically is all of the things that we've experienced up till now. But here's the problem with that. Most of us are living by default. We're not living by design. And remember the quote I said, instead of designing a life that we want, we get caught up in making a living. And that's okay for some people. Some people, all they want to be is comfortable. For some of us, we really want to grow, okay? So in order for you to create the type of future that you ultimately desire, when you write it down on paper, if your default programming is a bunch of negativity, people around you who are negative, people that don't have anything, or just a lot of naysayers, guess what's going to happen by default? That is the life in the future that you will experience. You have to be willing to get outside of yourself, get around people who are achieving, who have achieved success, whatever version of success that is for them, right? If they've had the last 3 months of good business, be around that person more than the person who's telling you about something that went wrong 9 years ago, right? All right, so let me tell you the 3 adjustments that you need to make right now in your business in order for you to start designing the future that you want, all right? Let me just put this here. This is the 3 adjustments you need to make, okay? All right, first adjustment is really, really simple. But I promise you, it is one of the most important things and one that you will have to do. And by the way, I want to say something about adjustments for a second. The adjustments never stop. So there's no point where it's like, I don't have to adjust for that anymore. That's not true, right? As you were growing up, you went from being a kid to adjusting to being a preteen, to adjusting to being a teenager, to having to adjust to having more responsibility, to adjusting to driving, to adjusting to having a car, to adjusting to having bills, to adjusting to getting to college, to adjusting to having friends, to adjusting to having heartache. It's just a series of adjustments, but some of us don't understand the power of adjusting properly. Could you imagine if you went into a chiropractor's office, right? And you go in there, to see them, you're telling them, the problem that you're having, and they don't know what they're doing. And when they adjust, and you telling them, hey, I've got, this upper neck problem, but they're playing with your ankles, right? Or they're trying to tell, they're telling you like, oh, well, all you need to do is just, walk a little better. And they didn't really actually adjust you. It would be very frustrating. You probably would never go back. But unfortunately, that's how we're doing life. That's how it is when we start our side business. Some of us will say, oh, well, that business didn't work because of this external thing, or that didn't work because of that, and this didn't work because of that. No, it didn't work because you weren't willing to make the series of adjustments necessary in order to see if it would work. You quit before making adjustments. And the adjustments you have to make are personal just as much as they are about the operation that you were trying to build. All right, so let's talk about the first adjustment. First adjustment that you're going to have to make, that is always going to be a constant, whether you like it or not, is going to be spending. Now, when we talk about spending, I don't want you to think like, oh, you just mean like spending like just the money that I make in my revenue. Nope, that's not all I mean. Yes, that is an important part, but there's all types of spending, and we've got to be willing to grow throughout all of this spending. So there's spending of money, right? Cash in, cash out. There's spending of time, right? There's spending of negativity, right? There's spending of positivity, right? Like you could literally spend too much time celebrating a win. Some of the best entrepreneurs I know, they are literally even keel. You won't see them rattled if they lose $100,000 a day or make 10 million tomorrow. I will say spending of emotions. This is another one, right? The emotional energy that you spend, right? How much time are you spending on negative stuff, negative reviews, right? Somebody posted a negative review because they didn't like your whatever. Okay, that's fine. Reach out to them, do what you can, move on to the next customer. You don't think Apple and Mother Teresa had negative reviews? Could you imagine if there was Google reviews that you could do on Mother Teresa, that somebody would find something negative to say about her too, right? My point is, what spending is a really important adjustment that you're going to have to make. And spending could also be seasonal too, right? Meaning for a little while, I might need to spend more time working on a certain portion of my business. How I show up, doing things online, writing, interviews, being interviewed, right? Like I might have to go like 3 to 4 months, just solely focused on that. And I'm going to spend more time there than another area, because maybe I'm going to go hire somebody to take care of one portion, but I'm really going to hone in on this part of my business. Okay, good. Go do it, right? So spending is not just money, right? But you need to make a series of adjustments to your spending as you build out your business. So that's number one, all right? So the 3 series of adjustments you need to make to your business. Number two is, this is a big one. Number 2 is revenue opportunities. So revenue opportunities, I'm going to say right now, especially given in today's climate and all the stuff that's going on, I think we all need to adjust based on the market, how things are getting tight, what's going on. I think we all need to adjust our revenue opportunities. We got to get real creative in the event that the recession hits you. You have to get real creative, right? So what are the opportunities that you can create inside of your business that will allow you to have long-term customers, that will improve the value you provide to your customers, right? Like what else can you create? So, maybe you follow a subscription model, right? Maybe there's something that you create inside of your business where there's a subscription model, right? Maybe let me move this over. Maybe there's not just a subscription model, but maybe you've created something that is some sort of plan that people can purchase from you, right? For particular work, right? Maybe there's something in the way of content, right? But you got to start thinking about, I know there's a lot of traditional ways in your side business or your full-time business that a lot of people, there's the traditional ways you make money. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to survive this coming recession or you want to improve the value that you provide to your customers, because I want to let you know right now, there's nothing new under the sun. The only reason why somebody is choosing the person across the street versus you is just what they offered, how they showed up, right? So you got to look at what are the other revenue opportunities that I can actually put into my side business or my full-time business so that when this recession hits or when there's a downturn or when things go on, I've got other revenue opportunities that I've already started building into my business, i.e. go ask Apple, go ask Microsoft, go ask Google, go ask, colleges even, right? Like colleges have multiple revenue opportunities, right? So go look outside of even your industry and go look at what of all the revenue opportunities that are happening in other industries. Maybe there's something that I can create, right? And if you got a question about the 3 series of adjustments that you need to make for your side business, put them down in the chat. I'll answer them live right here. I got the chat up. I can see it. So that's number 2. So number 1 for the three adjustments you need to make is spending, right? Remember, spending isn't just money. It's time, negative energy, positive energy, the emotions, emotional energy that you spend on things, right? Like you need to adjust your spending. That's a really important one. Number 2, you need to look at revenue opportunities. Maybe you create a subscription model. Maybe there's a plan that you can sell. Maybe there's some content that you can give out, right? But you've got to look at your revenue opportunities. And number 3, which I'm going to tell you right now, is probably one of the biggest ones that I think we all need to do. Number 3 is your focus. Okay? You need to adjust your focus. And I'm going to tell you what I see when I'm talking about your focus. You need to look at, what am I focusing on over the next 3 months? What is my focus over the next 6 months? What is my focus over the next 9 months? You've got to adjust your focus. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if a football player catches a football and is not looking down the field at what's coming to him, he's going to get knocked out. If his eyes are up in the stands looking at some cute girl. Okay? A quarterback does not have time to drop back in a pocket and look over at the coach and look in the stands and look at himself on the camera. When you got linebackers and every form of other defensive player trying to like rattle your neck, like you don't have that kind of time. You've got to be very laser focused and you've got to adjust that focus along the way, right? So you need a focus of the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next 9 months. So let me kind of tell you about like when it comes to focus. The way you focus goes a lot back to this thing. You know why? Because let's look at it, right? If you've been storing up all these negative occurrences in your past and reminding yourself and never calling yourself good enough or constantly spending time around negative people or whatever the case may be, right? If you've been doing all of that, well, your focus for the future is what? A bunch of negativity. All you see is negative outcomes in the future. You can't even spot positivity because all of your energy is stored up in a bunch of negativity. So even when a great opportunity comes in or across your face, you don't even see it. This is why if your business is going to grow and you are going to grow, you have to be willing to make this series of adjustments. Okay? So when I say a series of adjustments in your focus, what is the plan over the next 3 months? What are you doing? Right? So I'll give you a perfect example. So for the next 3 months, my wife and I will be going on the road and we'll be meeting with people in person. We're going to be doing live events. We're going to be doing pop-up events. Looks like we got to. Okay. We're going to be doing live events. We're going to be doing pop-up events, right? We're going to be out there. We're going to be talking to people in person, meeting with people. Why? Because I know that while most people will look at their summer as just vacation, like you've been looking at since you were a child, I'm sorry, Target doesn't shut down from June to August until people go back to school. All right? Like you expect your favorite restaurant to be open all the time. You never walked up there and saw a sign that said, hey, we're all going on vacation. We'll be back in 4 months. We'll see y'all then. That's not a business. That would be considered a hustle. Right? So my point is that we're going to be getting in front of people. We want to meet people. We want to talk to people. I want to be able to sit down with people and learn more about other ways we can help, right? Things that we can do, right? How do I help people? So I'm going to be posting a schedule of in this group of the cities I'm going to be in. Pull up. Let's talk. Let's chat, right? I might be in your city already coming up, but that's what we've got going on over the next 3 months, right? We're going to be continue to add value and building out more content for our coaching program, right? So that's what I'm doing. Over the next 6 months, I plan to make sure that we're going to be rolling out brand new content. This group is going to grow so much over the next 6 months. I plan to be, actually in the next 3 months, I plan for this group to be at 1,000 people. That's right. 1,000. I plan for this group to be at 1,000. We're at 325 as of recording this video. I plan in the next 3 months for this group to be over 1,000. That is me designing my future, right? In the next 6 months, those 1,000 people, we're going to be rolling out brand new content and you guys get a chance to see it first here in the group, right? So my point is I'm designing the future with a series of adjustments. Now, just because I design it, meaning I might write it on paper, I come up with the idea, that doesn't mean that as I'm moving towards my future, something's not going to pop up that's going to make me think and have to detour, move, change some things around. Yes, that's called life. But here's the interesting part. If I'm designing it with intentionality, guess what? Just because something changes, that doesn't mean my goal has to change. Do you realize, just to go back to the football analogy for a second, do you realize how many passes and back and forth and penalties happen in a football game? American football, that is, right? Do you realize that? But they still play? They don't get a penalty or offsides and go back 5 yards and then just forfeit the whole game. But unfortunately, that's how we do life sometimes. One bad thing goes wrong, man, I give up. Now I'm moving on to something else, right? You've never seen that in a football game. You've never seen somebody get a great play going down the field, get 37 yards, but it's called all the way back with an extra 15 yards because, somebody got a penalty. You just see the whole team pack up and go home? Or does this team stay on the field and adjust the entire game? That's what it's going to take to build and grow your side business. A series of adjustments. If you're not willing to make those adjustments, then this future will be based on a default. That default is already pre-built. It's already programmed based on your past. Your past is your programming. If you want a better future outcome, you've got to start designing with intentionality, and you've got to be willing to make the series of adjustments going forward. So let's just recap. 3 adjustments you need to make: spending, how you spend time, energy, money, effort, where you spend your time, books, people, places, all of that's really important. 2, revenue opportunities. Start getting really creative on what opportunities might exist for revenue. Don't just think traditional. Get really outside of the box. Be as wild as you can. That's what it means to be a business owner, right? And then number 3, your focus. What is your focus over the next 3, 6, 9 months, right? What is it? And you got to know that for yourself, because if I understand what my focus is and what I'm trying to do, guess what? All the other, anything else that is not towards that end goal or that design portion of intentionality, I automatically pick up on and I see it as a distraction. And then I can just say no, right? It's easy to say no when I know where I'm going, right? I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I got to drive. It's about 450 miles 450 miles to Atlanta, Georgia. Am I going to get off at every single exit going, is this Atlanta yet? Is this Atlanta yet? Is this Atlanta yet? Have I made Atlanta yet? No, I'd never get there. But I'm intentional. I know where I'm going, right? So I can bypass a lot of frustration, wasted time, energy, money, and effort if I put in the system where I want the car to go and I get there. But I might have to make a series of adjustments along the way, right? Rain delays, traffic. I have to get around traffic, right? Whatever. I hope you get the point of the only way your life is going to change and the only way your business is going to grow, and having both together is a great thing, has a lot to do with whether or not you're willing to make a series of adjustments. All right. So that's it for this one. I wanted to share this one this week because I thought it was really, really important. Don't forget, Massive Action Monday started this week. So for Massive Action Monday, you could go back to our YouTube channel, go check out the interview that I did with my business coach, Myron Golden. We covered some great ground about his story, how he builds business, why you should build a side business, some of the things that he's been learning over the last 37 years of building businesses and helping other people like myself build businesses. I'm telling you, it was an awesome conversation for Massive Action Monday. And then I want you to go make sure you do the homework based on that conversation, drop it into the group. Other than that, if you're watching this on the replay, use hashtag replay. Tell me what you're going to do as a result. What series of adjustments are you going to make in your business because you watched this video? Thank y'all so much for watching. It's the world according to Chris, man. I really appreciate y'all. This group is getting really good. It's getting really active. I want to see more. Ask questions, right? Post questions. Let me know what it is that you're looking for. Come find out some of the other things that we've already posted. Go back and look at some stuff, right? Share those pieces and the information that has been helpful to you. And man, listen, we're going to continue to grow together. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great, incredible day. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.